It's been a little while, I think, since I made a philosophical video. Most of my recent videos have just been sort of commentary on news issues, which is fine. That's what a lot of my channel is about. But this one, I just want to talk about the idea of being true to ourselves. Um, that's a real thinker because it can take many meanings, really, when you consider the different challenges that life brings. I think it is one of the most important things in this world to be true to ourselves. Because ultimately, look at it this way: whatever other people think of you, whether you're popular, whether you're despised, ultimately, you have to live with yourself, right? You can't escape yourself. So that's really a thinker. You know, so being true to ourselves, for me, that means standing up for our convictions, thinking through our convictions, self reflecting, including self reflection on our weaknesses, our flaws, our mistakes. Just trying to be humble enough to know that we're constantly learning in this world. I think that's very, very, very important. Um, the life is a test, and one of the biggest tests actually is dealing with other people. And that's not a sociopathic statement. You could be a pretty social person and you still have to deal with difficult people. And dealing with other people's issues is not always easy, as people look at things in different ways. What's reasonable to one person would be unreasonable to another person. What's an exaggeration to one person is a serious issue to another, and so on. So I think it's absolutely paramount that we're comfortable with ourselves. I'll be totally honest, I haven't always had huge confidence. There's times in life I've seriously struggled with confidence. I still occasionally do. I'm not gonna lie about that. But even people with a lot of confidence will have challenges. Probably less challenges, to be fair, because as a starting point, confidence is critical. But even people with a lot of confidence will still have challenges in life. So I think we just have to accept that life is a challenge. How we interact with other people is a challenge. And ultimately, when it comes to being true to ourselves, I think what that means is just standing up for what we believe in. Now, that doesn't mean always getting into a confrontation. It doesn't mean you always need to pontificate, oh, I disagree with you, or you're wrong about that, or I believe this. It's not necessarily having to always speak out. I don't think that's always morally necessary. But what we can't do is bullshit for popularity. Um, there's times when it's practical not to speak out because it avoids confrontation that isn't necessary. But there are times they do need to speak out. And I think it's up to every individual to determine what is the moral goals they set for themselves. I mean, if you have no values whatsoever, if you have no sense of right and wrong, I don't know how you could go through life, really. I try to do the right thing, but I know I've let myself down at times. There's times I've been less brave than I would have liked. But I think, and this is the final point, we also need to not beat ourselves up. because it is a constant learning process. And I think that sometimes being practical is more important than being brave. I think that sometimes doing the right thing, which may involve physical and mental courage, is more important than being overly analytical. So it really depends on the situation. So much in life does depend on situations, and life isn't smooth. So it's, I think, overly simplistic to look at life as dealing with every situation in the same way. That's not how life works. So for me, for example, sometimes I get into debate and sometimes I avoid it because I judge each battle on its own merit. Is this battle worth it? Is that battle worth it? And sometimes it's not worth it. So hopefully these are some things that people can think about. But being true to ourselves, that's what it means to me. Accepting that we are always learning, standing up for our convictions, and that may actually be internal, doesn't necessarily need to be vocalized, but standing up for it in the sense of that's what I believe. And I'm comfortable in that belief. Okay, hope people find this one interesting. If you like my channel, by the way, I don't often say this, but please subscribe and feel free to share. Thanks for watching.